Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable the examiners, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Aulia from English Education Department, Class B 2018. In this occasion, I would like to thank for the opportunity that has been given to me to present my proposal under the title Reading Webtoon as a Media Supplementary Activity to Students Reading Comprehend. Let's start it. My research is about reading webtoon as a media supplementary activity to students reading comprehend. There is some contents that we're gonna talk about, such as chapter 1, we have introduction, chapter 2, literature review, and chapter 3, research method. In introduction, we have background. Background of this research is reading is one of English skill that's constructing English competency, and it also has special portion in the curriculum. The major purpose of reading classes is to give students knowledge and comprehend all of the types of text written, especially in English in this case. However, the quantity of SKS only 2 credits, and for which the purpose of reading that I mentioned before, it will not enough, so that students need to be given an out-of-class activity such as reading comic webtoon. There are some problem identification from student, teacher, and media. From student, the student need a long time to know the meaning of story or passage that they read. They find difficulty because most of them lack of vocabulary and also have a low interest in reading. And strategy that used by teacher, students mostly feel boring when they have a reading class because they were asked to read all of passage and don't know the meaning. For media in classroom, teachers only use handbook, whiteboard, and board markers. There was no media that could stimulate students' interest in reading learning activity. Research objective. For the research objective, the researcher want to play webtoon as a media in teaching reading activity. And for the research benefits, for students, they will able to have reading activity every time they want. For teacher, we'll have new methods and materials in teaching reading. And for other researchers, as a references, we want to add some study related to the reading skill. We move to chapter 2, literature review and previous studies. So we're gonna talk about the previous study first. The first study come from Nurul Fajriya in 2018 under the title The Use of Comic Strips to Improve Students' Reading Comprehension. And the next study was conducted by Suci Supitri in 2019, The Effect of English Comic Webtoon on Students' Reading Comprehension. And the recent study come from Hasni Amalia Fadila, The Effect of Predicting Strategy with Webtoon on Students' Reading Comprehension. From these previous studies, the current research found the conclusion that from all of this research, there is no explanation or more explanation about why we have to use comic strips to reading comprehension and make this media as an outclass activity. Next, theoretical framework, the nature of reading. According to question in Hikmah Hidayah Lestari 2019, in page 41, reading is still the only ability that has a consistent and beneficial impact on the growth of all other language skills. So, Crescent believes that leisure reading is the most significant educational factor and the most accurate indicator of potential academic performance. It means that reading has important roles and great impact on students' academic. In line with Hikmah Hidayah Lestari, in reading tasks, the reader uses their brain to translate the terms, sentences, and paragraphs into word sentences and paragraphs that interact with them. Unlike speaking, where a communicator requires the communicant's physical appearance, reading is closely linked to self-activity, which means that interaction through reading does not require the presence of a partner. Next, reading comprehension. For reading comprehensions, the ability to understand the whole text is called reading comprehension. So there are some experts who define reading comprehension. Pierce 2019, said by Suci Saputri 2019, reading comprehension is described as the ability to deduce meaning from what the reader has read. It means that they have broken down the thought process into steps make it easier to understand. In line with Fauzia and Fahri 2019, truth comprehension reading is a complex process of getting the meaning of the written text. This process will help students to gain information and knowledge from the text that they have read. In line with Ardi Milana, we need comprehension to read. Without verbal reasoning and word meaning, there could be reading comprehension. Without reading comprehension, there could be reading. So the conclusion by the explanations before, it means that reading and comprehension is activity that cannot be separated. Next, webtoon. Webtoon, according to M. Arga Priyanur, Lem Webtoon is the home of an extensive library of comics. So this media, users can enjoy unlimited reading across all genres. No matter what users are into, these applications are available on Play Store for Android and iOS for iPhone device. It also can be accessed on its website. On Webtoon, users are free to download any kinds of comic that they want to read offline. So they can read comic even if they don't have internet connections or visas. This awesome media was founded by Junko and it was launched by Naver Corporation in 2005 in South Korea. Next, we're gonna talk about teaching reading with Webtoon. In this technology era, teachers should create an effective and innovative teaching. The best way to make learning and teaching activity interesting is by using entertaining media such as Webtoon. This application is suitable as a media in teaching activity. Webtoon provides the best visualization in each story so that the reader will have a big interest in reading. Brian Patrick Burke states that readers will pay more attention to the reading, draw conclusions, assume things, fill in the details, and visualize themselves as the character when they use Webtoon. So readers think, prepare, track, conclude, forecast, challenge their comprehension, and revise their strategy as a result of this reading process. From this media, students are expected so easily understanding what our text telling about with no limitation created. We move to the chapter 3, research method. Research design. For this research, the researchers use qualitative approach with descriptive qualitative design. And for the data collecting techniques, the researcher used interview and observation. For data analysis, descriptive method. To analyze the data, the researchers use a descriptive method. In this research, according to Suryana 2010, theories that descriptive methods begins from collecting the data, analyze the data, and interpret the data. And for the research schedule and location, this research is gonna conduct at Senior High School 1 Champalagiang, and it will conduct in early first semester. So that's the explanation for me about my thesis, and thank you for your attention.